Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. In this video, we are going to find the majority element in the array. So let's see what is majority element. So in array, so the elements are present in the array. So in that we have to find which element is present more number of times. So the only one element which occurred more than many times. So that is our majority element. And we have a condition for the majority element. So that is So the element should be present above n divided by 2 times. So which means, so if we split the so if we have a number 7, which is our length of the array, so the number should be, that element should be present more than the 3 times or 4 times. So this is our condition. So here is a sample example. So the input is given. So we have a 7 elements in the input. So now our n equal to 7. So what is the condition? So the element that appears more than n divided by 2 times. So here, so more than 2 times. So which is 7 divided by 2 equal to, so which is 3.5. So the element should be at least appear 4 times or more than 3 times. So here in the array, element 2 present 5 times and element 1 present 1 time and element 3 present at 1 time. So here the element 2 present 5 times. So which is more than the 4 times. So here the majority element is 2. So let's see the scenario for this majority element. So here we take a online voting system. So which is nothing. So in a college, students are voting for a programming language. So each student can vote for their favorite language. So, but we have a one condition. The student can vote only once. So that is their wish. They can vote for their favorite language. So the votes are stored in the array. So let's get a vote array. So in a vote array, we have Java, Python, and C. So here Java appears 5 times and Python appears 1 time and C appears 1 time. So we have total number of votes, which we have 7 votes. So as like that previous condition, so our majority condition. So it should be appear more than n divided by 2 times. So in the voting array, Java occur 5 times, which is more than the n divided by 2 times. So here Java is the major, so everyone will choose the, so so our final decision will be Java programming language. So let's see the approach for the finding majority element. So here let's see for the brute force approach. So in a brute force approach, we first count the frequency of the element and we check whether it is greater than n divided by 2 or not. For example, so for example, so in array we have a n number of elements. So we will count each and every element how many times it present in the array. So and we will get a count of the array, count of that element. So and we'll check that whether it is greater than the n divided by 2 times or not. So for the time complexity, it take big O of n square and space complexity big O of 1. So in time complexity, we use two loops to find the frequency of the each element. So the space complexity, we iterate each element for one time. So another one is hashing approach. So we use hash map to store the frequency and return the element whose count is greater than 2. So this both approach are similar. So here time complexity is big of n. Space complexity is big of n. So let's see the next optimal solution. So our optimal solution using Boyer-Moore voting algorithm. So which is nothing but, so we take a two variable. One is candidate, another one is a count. So we will increase the count if the current element is equal to candidate element. which is our element in the array. So if it's not, we will decrease the count. So when the count becomes 0, we will choose the next candidate. So if the count is equal to 0, so that element is not a majority element. So we will move to the next element in the array. So like this, we will check each and every element in the array. So let's see how it's work. So because of majority element appears more than half of the time. So it cannot be completely cancelled by other elements. Let's see the algorithm. So let's initialize that count equal to 0 and candidate equal to 0. So now we are going to traverse the array. So inside the loop, if the count equal to 0, we will set the candidate element equal to our current element. So if and another condition, if a current element equal to candidate element, we will increase the count. Otherwise, we will decrease the count. So from this, we will get our final majority element. So this is our pseudocode. Initializing count equal to 0 and candidate equal to 0. So in a for each loop. So here we are going to use the for each loop. So instead of for loop, for each loop is nothing but which it directly call the element in the index. So in a for loop, we will call the element by index position. But for each loop, it will directly call the element in the index. So in the for each loop, we are going to check if count equal to 0. So if it's count equal to 0, the candidate will be updated to the current element. And another condition, if element equal to candidate. So if a current element equal to candidate, we will increment the count. Otherwise, we will decrement the count. So this process will run uh, until the array went to the last index. So after that, we will return the candidate. So time complexity and space complexity for the optimal solution in majority element. So here time complexity big of n. So here is the time complexity and space complexity for the optimal solution in majority element. So in time complexity, which is big O of n. So which we use the only one for loop. So it will loop the array only one times. And space complexity. So which we are going to visit every element at for only one time. So we are not going to see the element for more than one time. So the space complexity is big of 1. So let's go. Let's create a class. So majority element. So our main class. So inside our main class, we are importing the scanner class. So let's initialize the array. Int array equal to new int of n, which represents the length of the array. So let's get the input. So now we are going to code. So this is our pseudocode. So in the pseudocode, we are going to initialize the two variables. One is count and one is candidate. So we are initializing count equal to 0 and candidate equal to 0. So let's initialize here. So in count equal to 0 and in candidate equal to 0. So we have initialized two variables. So next we are going in a for loop, we are going to check these conditions. Whether the count equal to 0. So if it's equal, we are going to assign a value or a current element to the candidate. So let's do this. So now we are going to use the for each loop. So for each loop for int element. So which stores our current element and equal to what is our array name? So array. So in a for loop, we will use initialization, condition, and increment or decrement operator. But in for loop, we will initialize and give a element which is our array name. So it will go into the array and traverse the each and every element in the array. So if we element have a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, so it will go to the array element and it will traverse the each and every element which travels from the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So let's click here. So now we are going to check the condition. If count equal to 0. So we are checking the condition whether the count is equal to 0 or not. So if it is equal, we are going to upgrade the candidate element equal to our current element. So our candidate variable equal to our current element. So which is element. So here next we are going to give another one condition, which is our current element is equal to candidate element. We are going to count, we are going to increment the count. Otherwise, we are going to decrement the count. So now we are going to check the condition. If element equal to candidate. So if both are equal, we are going to increment the count value, which is count plus plus. If it's not equal, we are going to decrement the count value. So let's print. So let's print. So first candidate. So candidate. Inside we are going to print our candidate. So our length of the array is 7. So our input for the array 2, 2, 1, 2, 6, 2 and 2. So here the 2 appears 5 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1 appears 1 time and 6 appears 1 time. So here the majority element is 2. So let's see. So our candidate which is 2. So 2 is our majority element. So let's iterate this. So our array. So array is, so this is our array. So here we are going to initialize count equal to 0. So now candidate equal to 0. So here in a loop, so in a loop, so the element which we have the first, so element is our variable. So array which we have a first element. So it will come the first element in array. So here element equal to our first element is 2. So 2 will come into the element and we will check if the count equal to 0 or not. So here count equal to 0. So the condition is true. So here it will update candidate equal to element. So our element is 2. So here it will go and check the condition. So it came out of the loop here and go into this condition and it will check whether the element is equal to candidate. So our element is 2 and our candidate value equal to 2 now. So the condition is true. So it will upgrade the count value. So our count values at initialize we have a 0. Now our count value is 1. So it won't come to the else part. So again it move to the at second iteration. So in second iteration our element will be 2. So this is our second iteration. So now our count equal to 1. So here the condition is not true. So it will came out of this condition and move to the this if condition, second if condition. So here it will check whether our current element is 2 and our candidate element is 2 now. So it will check if the condition is true or not. So here the condition is true. So now count value incremented to 2. So it will move to the third position, which is third iteration. So in third loop, we have a array. So in third index, we have the array 1. So here the element will be 1. So in previous count equal to 2, right? So it will check the condition. So the condition is false. So it will came out of this condition and move to the second if condition. So here it will check whether our current element is 1. So 1 is equal to 2 or not. So it's not. So here the condition is failed. So it will go to the else part and it decrement the count value. So count value we have 2. So now 2 minus 1 we have a 1. So it go to for loop and the now is our fourth iteration. Now element 1 equal to in fourth iteration which is our third index. So we have a element 2. So now our current element is 2. So it will check the count if count equal to 0. So the condition is true. So 2 equal to 0. So the condition is true. So candidate will be 2 as it is. So it won't go to this condition. So again it come to this if condition. So we will check. So now our current element is 2. So 2 equal to 2. So it is true. So it will come here. So now our current value is 1, right? So it will incremented by 2. So now it move to the fifth iteration. So in the fourth index, we have the element 3. So in the fourth index, we have the element 3. So now we will check the condition. So now we will check the condition. If our count, what is our count value? 2. So 2 equal to 0. So it's not. So let's go to this if loop, this if condition. So here our values, current value is 3. So the condition is false. So it go to the else part. Now our count value is correctly 2. So it will decremented and will be 1. So next sixth iteration. So in the sixth iteration, sixth iteration means we will have the fifth index. So in the fifth index we have the element 2. So we will check the condition if count equal to 0. So it's not true. So it will come to this if condition. So we will check whether our current element 2 equal to our candidate element, which is 2. So the condition is true. So now it will upgrade our count value equal to 2. So before we have count equal to 1, now it's upgraded to 2. So next our seventh iteration. So which is our element is 2. So we are checking the condition. So it's not true. So it's come to this if condition. So here our current element is 2 and our candidate element is 2. So which is equal. So now the count will be incremented to 3. And else part 1, it won't go to the else part. So now the iteration move to the 8. So we don't have any iteration. So the condition will dominate and it will go to the printing statement and it will print the candidate. So here 2 is the present more than the end out by 2 times. Thank you.